Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So guys, today we are going to be talking about a very beautiful jungle cactus that is found wild in Brazil. The name of this cactus is Rhipsalis salicornioides. Now guys, I'm not going to repeat the name once again. I'm going to put it up on the screen because it took me an hour to practice and pronounce this, but I'm sure I have messed it up once again. So I think I will stick with the easier name, that is dancing bone cactus. Now I have this cactus for almost a year and a half now. I have already made a video on it, but that was a very small clip. Don't worry guys, you don't have to search for that clip. I will include that clip in this video and you will be able to see how this cactus has transformed and grown over the year. Now guys, talking about the soil requirement, the soil remains the same. That is, it has to be loose, porous, well draining. Please ensure that in whichever container you are planting this cactus, it should have drain holes so that the water doesn't stay in the pot. Talking about watering, they require slightly more watering. Remember, as I said, they are jungle cactus. They are basically not the regular cactus that tend to grow in the desert. These guys require slight moisture in the soil. So ensure that you do not let the soil dry too much. Ensure you keep slight moisture in the soil, but again, not soggy, wet soil. Otherwise, it will lead to root rot. Now talking about light requirements, I would advise give them indirect bright light. Please do not expose them to direct sunlight. Remember, these are jungle cactus. They do not prefer direct sunlight. These usually tend to grow under the canopy of large trees because they're basically jungle cactus. So please don't expose them to direct sunlight. Otherwise, they might get burnt and even get dehydrated. So this is the clip that I was talking about that was shot 1.5 years back. This cactus was still very small. It had just come in transit and you can see the amount of wrinkles on the cactus. It was not doing quite well. I thought it wouldn't have survived. And you can see right now, I haven't even changed the pot for almost a year and a half. It has been growing in the same pot and you can see the amount of transformation and how well it has been doing well. But to be honest, I didn't had much hopes with it. It was just kept somewhere in the corner in indirect bright light and it was getting watered with other succulents and cactus, but I was not quite sure whether it's going to make it through or no, but luckily it did, and now you can see how well it's been doing. So you can probably place it in your balcony wherever you tend to receive indirect bright light or dappled sunlight. That is going to be more than enough. Now I think over the period of time when it tends to grow, I think it tends to trail, but I'm not quite sure. Right now it's not trailing, but over the period of time as it gets mature, it is going to start to trail. So you can probably opt for a hanging planter. I'm sure over the period of time when it starts to trail from the hanging planter, it is definitely going to look good. Now guys, talking about the pest attack, yes, initially I happened to see this cotton mold that was growing on the joints of this cactus, but over the period of time it started to heal back. I think most probably because the plant was not doing quite well. Initially it was not very stable, but what I noticed is as and when it started getting healthy, I didn't find that fungus mold anymore. It is doing quite well. You can see it has a lot of new growth. So I think it was only because the plant was not doing quite well. That's why it was getting attacked with that kind of a white mold, but I'm not quite sure. I treated it with the hand sanitizer and Q-tip method, but after that I haven't seen any issues with it because right now it's doing quite well. It has been growing quite well. So the next step what I would show you is how to propagate this. It's very simple to propagate it. You just need to find these joints. It's very easy to locate these joints. So it's pretty simple and easy to multiply and propagate this cactus. You can cut any part of the cactus and then just put it into the soil. Now guys, again, you don't need to callus this cactus, but remember the soil that you're using should be dry. Now over here you can see I have taken the cutting. The stem is really thin. I don't know if it's called a stem, but it's really thin, so it doesn't require a lot of efforts to callus. But we have to make sure that the soil that we are going to be putting this in has to be completely pat dry. Please do not use wet soil because again that could lead to some kind of rot, so we do not want to get into that. So here the soil that I'm using is 80% of aquarium sand and 20% of garden soil, which is completely dry, and all you have to do is just push the cutting into the soil and leave it aside. Any which ways, we do not expose this cactus to direct sunlight, so it's always going to be kept in indirect bright light. Now talking about watering, I'm not going to be watering this cutting for at least 4 to 5 days. I will wait, and I'm sure by then or maybe even before that it might have got callus, so that's absolutely fine. The wounds will get healed because the soil is completely dry right now. So guys, this is how you're going to multiply this. It's very simple. It's very easy to take care. Just you need to keep certain things in mind, like do not expose it to direct sunlight. Try to maintain a very slight moisture in the soil. As you know, as I said, I was not quite sure whether this will make it. A year and a half back, it had completely wrinkled and I was not very sure if it's going to make through. But you can see right now it's completely doing quite well. It has a lot of new growth. It's looking much fresh. There are no wrinkles anymore. So it's pretty easy to take care if you're going to follow these guidelines. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.